Character counts everywhere, all the time. Whether life's easy or an uphill climb, we will shine when we walk that line. Character counts everywhere, all the time.
I want to acknowledge the enormity of what school leaders and teachers are being asked to do this school year. They're carrying the weight of their communities on their shoulders. There's evidence of disrupted routines, family stress, isolation, and fear. More than ever before, character and values needs to be an integral component of all it is we do. It has to be more than a program or an additional thing to do. It has to be embedded in how we connect with our students to help them learn and grow in both academics and character during these challenging times. A Tale of Two Cities is a historical novel by Charles Dickens in which he tells the story of two men who look similar but very different in character traits and perspective on life. It was written in an age of radical opposites taking place across the English Channel, telling the story of contrast and comparisons between London and Paris during the French Revolution. You've heard this, right? It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. In many ways, the period was so like the present. We can say the pandemic is the worst of times. It is the best of times related to character and values. See, our values are reflected in the attributes that comprise our character for moral good. These values shape our behaviors as determined by our choices. See, we may not choose our immediate emotional reaction or initial attitude, but we can choose to hold on to or change how we react to or feel about a situation. One of the desired standards for character counts in the social and emotional domain is that of emotions and their impact. In this worst of times, it can be difficult to monitor emotions and how they influence the way one responds to the pandemic. Or they may allow their emotions to control their actions, accentuating any feelings of disconnection, isolation, stress, and depression. I'm deeply concerned with what I see as a lack of empathy. Many seem to be concerned only about themselves, without a sense of collective or shared responsibility. We, not me, will get us through these worst of times. Feeling with someone is the best cure for depression. We're all sharing this experience with one another, and we're certainly not alone. But this can also be the best of times. If your school community is able to be positive, you can progress through the pandemic in safe, healthy ways and come out of this experience more united and resilient. We can focus on acts of generosity, cooperation, and patience towards each other. I just wish more people would spread love like they spread hate and negativity. Intentionally teaching character can change the story. By our actions, we're capable of so much more and so much better. They really can do it. This is nothing new. Even in the worst of times, we have somehow survived. We may fail, but we rise. We break, we rebuild. We stumble, we learn. We come together and we work together. We innovate, we create. Choices based upon the values we hold deeply that motivate us to action. We find our way forward every single time. Whenever we have found ourselves as the weakest, that is when we become the strongest. Character counts is about becoming the best version of ourselves. Yes, even in these perilous days that we are living through, character does count. There is the importance of continuous self-improvement, personal growth, and lifelong learning, even in the pandemic. Students can demonstrate personal responsibility for their education by becoming self-directed learners, engaged, connected to a school community, whether physically in class or remote. This time has allowed students to enhance their critical thinking skills so they can exercise more control over choices and make decisions based on reason and logic rather than instinct and emotion. Also present at these best of times is your students' ability to demonstrate resiliency by maintaining a positive outlook with the courage and will to bounce back from the pain and grief of this virus trauma, disappointments, and misfortunes. And there are many other values of character counts that are present in this unprecedented time. Think of diligence and perseverance and how your students are able to respond to the challenges they face. Encouraging students to demonstrate positivity means choosing to be optimistic, enthusiastic, hopeful, kind, and cheerful. Let's believe in our ability to endure the pandemic, heal, and understand that things can and will get better. What can you do to make the values an integral part of your learning experience this year, whether in person or remote? Ensure that what you are doing intentionally and explicitly addresses the desired beliefs and traits of character counts. Connect these values to academic content or standalone lessons. Emphasize the importance to the desired values as a way for all of us to get through this. Fortunately, every educator shares one thing in common in these times of trouble: hope. Hope that the model we are required to use will change. Hope that we can return to class and our normal way of life. Hope that allows us to see a life that supports connections and relationships. For all who are committed and dedicated to educating your community's most precious resource, its children, continue to encourage, continue to support them. Show them grace. Be patient, understanding, have empathy, and stay positive.